Think about this for a second. You wake up, you go to work, check your bank account, you pay some bills, and maybe save for that vacation. Almost everything you do revolves around money. But there's a strange question: what actually is money? Most of us have never stopped to ask. And that's by design. Because once you understand what money really is, you start seeing the world very differently. In this video, we're gonna go deep. But not the boring textbook definition. I'm talking about why schools don't teach this. What your brain thinks about money, and who benefits from keeping you confused. And what are they not telling us about being rich? So stick around, because by the end, you'll never look at money the same way again. Let's start simple. Money is not wealth. Money is just a tool, a middleman. Thousands of years ago, we traded cows for wheat, but that was messy. So we invented coins, then paper, and now we have digital numbers on a screen. Today, 90% of the world's money doesn't physically exist. It's just ones and zeros in bank computers. When you check your balance, you're looking at a shared illusion, a story we all agree to believe. Here's the shocking part. The US dollar hasn't been backed by gold or silver since 1971. It's a fiat currency, valuable only because the government says so. Remember Turkey? 2021. The inflation hit 36%. People's savings evaporated overnight. The money in their pockets lost half its value in months, and that's not a theory. So money is fragile. It's a social agreement, and that agreement is carefully managed. This is where it gets uncomfortable. Think back to high school. Did any teacher explain how money really works? How credit creation works? The difference between wealth and money? Probably not. Why? Because an educated, financially literate population is dangerous to the people at the top. And I'm not being conspiratorial. Look at the facts. In the US, only 21 states require any personal finance course. And even then, it's basic budgeting, and not how the Federal Reserve creates money out of thin air. The system needs workers, not thinkers. If everyone understood that saving dollars long term is actually losing purchasing power, thanks to inflation, people would demand better wages, invest earlier, or even start their own businesses. And that disrupts the system. The rich stay rich, and the poor stay poor. And the middle class works hard, pays taxes, but never asking why. Have you heard of the Pareto principle? 80% of the wealth is owned by 20% of the people. That's not an accident. It's a feature of the system, and the people who benefit from it fund the textbooks, the politicians, the media. They have no incentive to teach you the truth. So if money is just a story and nobody taught you the truth in school, who actually makes money and how? Here's the answer they don't want you to hear. Banks create money out of thin air. Literally, when you take out a mortgage or a business loan, the bank doesn't take someone else's savings and give it to you. Actually, that's a myth. Instead, they type numbers into a computer, new money, and lend it to you. You sign a promise to pay it back with interest. That new money then enters the economy. When you repay the loan, that money disappears. Now, what happens when you create more money but no more stuff? Inflation. And that's why the government wants you to spend and not to save. They need your money moving so the system doesn't collapse. And here's the sick irony. The people closest to the new money get it first. Banks, corporations, and the wealthy. And by the time that money trickles down to your paycheck, prices have already risen. So basically, you're working more for the same stuff. That's not a bug, that's the design. So why do we keep playing the money game? Well, because money hijacks your brain. You think a raise will make you permanently happy. It doesn't. You will adapt within 3 months and then ask for more. But here's the real idea. Up to a certain point, money does buy happiness. More money does increase happiness because it covers basic needs and reduces anxiety. And after that, the effect fades. But not having enough, that's miserable. So don't let anyone shame you for wanting financial security. Money is liquid, wealth is not. Wealth is assets that produce value, like real estate, factories, patents, stocks, skills, relationships, and your health. Rich people don't keep their wealth in cash. Jeff Bezos didn't have a bank account with 200 billions. Meanwhile, the middle class saves dollars in a bank account, losing 2 to 3% to inflation every year. That's the hidden tax nobody votes on. Think of it this way. Money is a score. Wealth is the game. Most people chase the score and ignore the game. They work for money instead of having money work for them. Let's take a real example. In the year 2022, people with assets like houses, stocks, crypto, and gold saw their wealth rise. On the other hand, people with only cash savings got crushed. That's the difference. And again, nobody teaches you that. You feel it, right? Relationships, dating, where you live, what job you take, money touches everything. Here's what I want you to take away. Understanding money is liberating, not because you'll become a billionaire, but because once you see the game, the illusion, the brain traps, you can play it differently. Stop hiding cash, learn an asset, invest in yourself, build something, and most importantly, don't hate money. It's just a tool. The problem isn't money, it's not understanding it. They want you confused, they want you spending and working and never questioning, but now you know better. So here's your homework, and I mean it. Look at your bank account, not as how much money I have, but as how many months can I survive if I stop working. That's your real freedom number. If you found this useful, subscribe, because this channel is about pulling back the curtain on finance, one truth at a time. And leave a like if you want more real talk, and comment what's one thing about money you wish you learned in school. I read every comment. Thanks for watching. Now go and build some real wealth.